Yes.
Perfect. All right, we're going to get started because we do not have a lot of time, but a lot of stuff to cover. All right. Hello, everyone. My name's Adebukola Jao. I'm going to skip this a little bit, but my name's Adebukola Jao, adjunct professor at Northeastern. I love all things marketing, have a small marketing agency here in the city of Boston and beyond. Also a published writer. I write about Black cultural phenomenon, pop culture, and marketing for small businesses for various platforms, including entrepreneur.com. So we're going to get right into this workshop again for the interest of time. I also want to note that there is Spanish interpretation for anyone who needs that service. So that's also happening as well. And in this workshop, we'll explore some of the most cost-effective marketing strategies that will help build your brand, engage with your target audience, and increase your sales. Of course, I'm all about marketing without breaking your bank. So we're going to get right into it. Let's start with marketing strategy. What I want us to understand about strategy is that it derives from marketing goals, right? You can't have successful marketing if your activity is not from a foundational place. And just like strategy comes from marketing goals come from business goals. Without goals, there is really nothing to work towards as a business. Then those marketing strategies have tactics, basically specific actions or steps you take to accomplish your strategy. Today, where we're going to focus on is right here is marketing strategy. This is what we're focused on today, because people oftentimes mix strategy and tactics, but they're two different things. So for example, let's say you own a dog shelter and one of your business goals is to increase donations, right? A marketing goal that aligns with this business goal is to drive donations directly from social media channels. And then one of the marketing strategies that aligns with this marketing goal, that aligns with this business goal, is to run social media campaign focused on fundraising, right? You're not focused on brand awareness here. You're focused on getting people to take action and donate. Some tactics that align with this marketing strategy, that align with this marketing goal, that align with this business goal. A couple of tactics that align with this strategy can be to create a donation now button on your Facebook page to really encourage your followers to donate. Or you could also create a contest where the prize is a visit to the shelter or a volunteer experience, right? So I want y'all to go ahead and take a picture of this slide and refer back to it as you're building your next marketing plan. So I'll give you 2 seconds to take a picture of that. But it's very, very important that as you're doing your marketing and as you're creating marketing plan and thinking of strategies, that your strategies actually are aligned to a goal for your business. If they're not aligned to a goal for your business, your marketing is almost like you just shooting in the dark. All right? Quick reminders. You cannot build your marketing plan and marketing goals in a vacuum. We just covered that. They need to be directly aligned with what you're striving to accomplish as a business. Because if not, you risk not accomplishing what your business actually needs. And is why, as a marketer, I'm seeing a lot of businesses do very well on social. 1 million followers, 100,000 followers, videos that go viral, but they're not actually a viable and profitable business in reality, right? So we don't want that. Also, business and marketing is a paid-to-play environment. So today's marketing strategies are low cost, not no cost, all right? Studies show us that at the end of the day, those who invest in their marketing go further. Not going to go into that, another workshop for another day, but seriously, I'm going to strive to get through these strategies quickly so that we have time for questions. Our very, very first strategy, you guessed it, it's content. It's definitely content. When we hear the word content, most often people think of social media content, but I assure you, content runs the gamut of many, many things, right? So blog posts, emails, social media content, ebooks and webinars, case studies, video content such as Reels, TikTok, YouTube, audio content, including podcasts, chat rooms like Twitter Spaces, or even Clubhouse, and SMS text, right? It's really, really important. I've also linked here, and on most of the slides, you'll see some QR codes. That's for you to take home and continue to read. I've linked this article from entrepreneur.com that lists some social media platforms that are overlooked. A strategy to remember is platforms that aren't as popular are a bit easier to grow on because their algorithms aren't as difficult to manipulate, right? Overall, the strategy here is to use a mix of content types to not only stick to one. For example, back in 2021, I don't know if anyone remembers this, there was a Facebook shutdown, right? I don't know if anyone remembers this. Facebook shut down completely. And literally, I had clients who lost thousands of dollars. They were running ads on Facebook. So if you were running an ad, your ad got interrupted. And I found that so frustrating because I work with so many clients and I tell them, listen, we have to exist outside of your social media, right? You need to be speaking to your audience outside of social media because you don't own social media. So when we're talking about making blogs, these blogs should live on a domain that you own, right? Like a website. And all roads should lead to your website, should lead to platforms that you own, because at any point, Facebook could take down your page, they can delete your page, someone can report your post if they didn't like it, for rubbing the wrong way. Like anything can go wrong when it comes to platforms you don't own. So it's very, very important that social media is not the only place that your audience is getting content from you from. And of course, simply just making content is not the answer. You have to make quality content, which includes the 5 C's, your content being clear, right? Being very clear to the point a 5th grader can understand it. Concise, we know that the attention span of an average human right now is like 2 seconds. It must be compelling, right? It must be something that makes someone feel like they can take action. Also credible, who you are and where you are in your business, whether you're a thought leader, whether you're a leader in your space, whether you're very knowledgeable, that really matters to consumers. And also have a call to action. Make sure that you're telling your audience what you want them to do next. I see so much content out there these days, and I'm just like, okay, scrolling on to the next. I don't know what you want me to do. Do you want me to like this? Do you want me to comment? Do you want me to share this? Do you want me to screenshot? Like there are so many actions that a consumer can take when they're looking at a piece of content, and it's your job as a business to guide them through that process. But here is why the 5 C's matter the most. Search engine optimization. Search engine optimization, which I'm going to call SEO, the purpose of it is to increase the likelihood that your website or your content will be listed on a search engine results page. For example, Google, right? It's literally the natural next step when we're talking about content, because content is what propels a business to be discoverable by searchers. Think about it. There's someone right now on the internet looking for your business. Google has 8.5 billion searches every single day. 8.5 billions of searches every day. And you mean to tell me your business does not show up in 1 out of a billion searches every day? We've got to change that. We've got to change that, sis, right? So this is why the 5 C's are important, because Google prioritizes high quality content that best answers the questions its users are asking. So it makes your website more visible on Google and it brings more free traffic. So I've added some resources here, Google Trends and Answer the Public, because these resources allow you to learn what keywords, what phrases, what people are searching for every day. So you can take those keywords, those phrases, and you can implement that into your strategy. You can implement these words and key phrases into your content, whether it's for social or for your website, right? Another good thing about SEO is that you can run ads and promote your business on social, but SEO drives free traffic over time to your business. So if we're talking about low cost, SEO is the way to go. Another thing about SEO is that SEO exists on social media as well, right? So everybody has an Instagram bio, and I love you to screenshot this, because if your Instagram bio doesn't have this kind of formula, I would like for you to kind of reevaluate that, right? Because a lot of people think that just because they put what they do right here matters, but at the end of the day, Instagram only aggregates this bold word, where this bold wording is, right? So when it says your name keyword, that's because that's how Instagram populates SEO on Instagram. Other platforms have different ways that they aggregate information about you and how, like, let's say if I'm looking for a marketer, for example, Instagram will probably show people me because I have marketing in my actual bolded name. So whatever you do as a profession, whatever your business is about, try to add that in the bold part of your bio on Instagram. Also, hashtags are not dead. I know a lot of people, I talk to clients all the time, they're like, hashtags don't work. They do work. They still improve user experience. They still help you get found. They still help brands widen their reach. For example, tweets with hashtags get twice more engagement than tweets without them, right? Hashtags are not dead. They just need to be used differently today. We won't get into that for the interest of time, but please, if you have a social media platform, make sure that the keywords that people are searching for that align with your business are in the actual bio. I know people like to try to get sexy with their, their Instagram bios, and that's fine, but just make sure those keywords are there. So as searchers are looking for you, they can actually find you. But again, social media is a search engine, so the words that you use matters. In marketing, we call this copywriting. And I know there's some copywriters in today's workshop, so shout out to y'all. Copywriters are like a marketer's secret weapon because at the end of the day, marketing is literally two things. If you want to break it down, it's words and it's visuals. A lot of people get the visuals right because we have a lot of free platforms, but most people don't get wording right. And so marketing copy is really any text, video, or images designed to make contact and connect with customers or potential customers. So if you don't have a copywriter, if you don't know what copywriting is or need support, please make sure you sign up for a business advisor at Small Business Strong. This is something that we can offer to you for free or low cost. So definitely make sure you sign up for Small Business Strong after this. All in all, quality content using keywords that directly connect your customers to you can allow your business to show up in searches. Remember, outside of making an ROI as a business, outside of making money, the whole purpose of marketing is to help people find you, right? So people oftentimes think marketing is like this thing, like we're trying to like get everybody to be seen. And to me, honestly, marketing is all about connecting people with the people, connecting your business with the people who are actively looking for you. All right. I know that was a lot, but we're going to move on to the next thing. That is artificial intelligence. So really quickly, I have a fundamental belief. And if anybody knows me, and if you don't know me, you will know now, I have a fundamental belief. And that is, if you're in business, marketing is your business. If you are in business, marketing is your business. So if you're a business owner, that's great. But understand that in order to be successful, you must think like a marketer and stay up top of marketing trends to find those low cost, high impact strategies, right? And so today, the trend that a lot of marketers are talking about and have been buzzing about is artificial intelligence. I'm sure many of you have heard of ChatGPT, Lens AI, Midjourney, and the debacle around authenticity, right? And the type of AI that we use as marketers and that most people use is called generative AI. It's basically technology that uses deep learning models to create something new, right? Like an image, a text, a video, you name it. The whole point is that you can use generative AI to basically create words within seconds or images within seconds that delivers you basically original work, right? Almost as if a human made it. That's the whole point of generative AI. You put in a word, it sends you something back that's original, that's like that it makes itself. There have been some recent breakthroughs in the fields that have potentially drastically changed the way we approach content. I think some of the key things with AI is that it creates it makes content creation less time consuming. So if you're someone that doesn't have a lot of time in your hands and you're trying to churn out a lot of content, AI may be a good resource for you that's low cost. AI does produce better SEO because it has access to search information. So search engine information, a lot of AIs have access to that. So as I'm telling you to do work with AIs, I'm also telling you, AI also has access to this. So when you're asking AI to create content for you, it's likely to produce better SEO for you as well. It's also more cost effective for business owners. And I definitely think it's a great way for you to have low cost strategies. On the other hand, you have to be very careful with emerging technologies such as this because AI cannot grasp things like style, voice, and perspective. So I'm a professor and I teach undergrads and graduate students, and I can absolutely tell when someone writes an essay with, ChatGPT because it doesn't sound like their voice. So if you are using these platforms, these are here to aid you in the process of content creation. It's not supposed to replace your content creation process, because at the end of the day, AI is a new and emerging resource and tool, and there are still many issues with it, including plagiarism and things of that nature. So just beware as you're using AI for content. Next thing is Google. Now, if you don't remember anything else we talked about today, I would love for you to take a picture of this, because if Google is not a part of your marketing strategy, especially as a product-based business or brick and mortar business, you are missing out on immense opportunity to be discovered by potential customers for free and in your sleep. So you have Google Business Profile, you have Google Shopping tab, you have Google Search, Google Images, shopping ads, you have Google Lens. And Google Lens is a newer product that uses your smartphone camera, right? So we just talked about AI, and it uses deep machine learning to not only detect an object in front of your camera, but it also helps you scan different things on your photo for shopping, translation, and more, right? So it's really important that if you have a product-based business or a service, that you're listing yourself on these free platforms that people are actively looking at every day. It's the same thing with other platforms as well. So I'm using Google as an example, but there are many, many, many other platforms as well, including, let's say, Alexa from Amazon. You can list your business on the directories that Alexa has access to. So definitely list your business on Alexa if you haven't already and you're eligible. Definitely do that. I think voice-activated virtual assistants are showing up more in devices. So it's just a good strategy that anytime there's a voice-assisted virtual platform or product, find ways to actually make sure your business is listed on the directories that it has access to, so your business shows up. So if I say, hey, Alexa, where's the closest, I don't know, diaper product near me, your business can come up in that based on the information that you ask it. You can even list your business for free on Apple Maps, right? Apple is the biggest tech company in the world, and the majority of the population of the world has Apple products. So do yourself a favor and list your business there for free. The next thing, my very, very favorite thing, those of you who know me on today's workshop know that I have a weekly newsletter that I put out. I love, love, love newsletters. Email marketing is another effective small business marketing strategy and tactic. And I think email is king for so many reasons. As a marketer, I particularly love email because it's a one-on-one conversation, right? That really requires the user's attention. So it's not like Instagram or other platforms where you post something and you're trying to get this person's attention, and then boom, another post comes up on their feed and they get distracted and start scrolling. And then another thing comes on their feed and they just get distracted again and start scrolling more. Email marketing is not like that. And using email as a strategy is not like that. It's one of the few places for content where you're having that one-on-one with your audience. Again, back to the 5 C's: clear, concise, compelling, credible, and call to action. When we're talking about content, you have to ensure that your emails have the 5 C's. And you have to ensure that your emails are actually providing content or information that your audience will truly enjoy, such as an actionable blog post or helpful free tips, of course, discounts and information about new events and company updates. This is important that your content, whether it's blog posts, whether it's social media posts, or whether it's email, it's very important that you have the 5 C's in these forms, because or else your email will see this as spam. So I have a lot of users who say, hey, I never got your email because my email scanned it as spam. So it's very, very important. And understand that when you send out an email, it's being scanned by your email provider, and it will then send that email into different folders of a person. So make sure that you have compelling content in that. There are also many, many affordable email service providers. I really love Klaviyo, MailChimp, Constant Contact, HubSpot. I mean, there are so many email marketing platforms out there, and most of them do have a cost associated with them. But if you can't afford them, I mean, you can also use good old-fashioned Google, right? And if you have a really, really small audience, it definitely helps to send individualized emails to your consumers. All right, here are some additional tips, but before we get into additional tips, I would love to take a couple of questions now, because we just covered quite a lot. So I'm happy to take questions. Victoria, you might have to you might have to speak them out because I can't see the chat. Oh, we can't hear you. Oh, sorry, Victoria, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm like, why is she not responding? I wanted to Kara's had her hand up for a while, so I wanted to give her an opportunity to ask a question. Did you have a question to Kara? You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I had put my hand up. I thought I put it back down, but I do have a question. So
Okay.
I have a business that's very niche, and I don't have repeat clients. My clients kind of come one time. It's a fertility concierge business. They come one time and then they really don't continue. How do you suggest I market to them? Because a lot of times people say that when you're marketing, you want to like engage them over and over again, but I don't need to necessarily do that.
And you said your business is about what? I'm so sorry, I didn't hear that part.
It's a fertility concierge business. So basically we assist individuals that are going through infertility treatment. Our nurses go into their homes and mix and administer the medications that they're required to take for treatment.
So that makes me think, that's a really good question. I'm going to put my email in the chat. I'd love for us to talk more about this, but when we're talking about fertility, we're talking about health, right? And I don't think health is a one-stop conversation. You don't get resources and then, all right, we're done, I'm healed, it's over. I think fertility is a lifelong thing, especially in women. So I wonder if there's content that you can make or additional services or products that you can create that kind of—
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, definitely. Because I don't think fertility is not a one and done thing, and especially when it comes to health. Nobody's health is constant. We're not always going to be healthy at all times. There's going to be hiccups along the way as a human, right? And so how do you, like, almost thinking about a person's fertility journey and how you can, like, your business can kind of be attached to other parts of that journey aside from this one part that it solves. And I also think
interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I also think that when it comes to, and this is for anybody, if you have a business that's like a one-way conversation, like, all right, you buy from me and that's it, you go on about your business, I need another person. I think a great way to kind of continue that conversation is to turn your product into a platform, right? Like, and I'm going to get into this a little bit, but turn your product into a platform. Like, if you are for fertility services, maybe there are other things around fertility and women's health that you can align yourself with for content. Even if you're not actually selling product, you could literally sell one product, create content around that product, but create a platform around women's health altogether, right? And so I think that's a great way to engage people. And at the end of the day, I know that there's a lot of competition out there when it comes to fertility and women's health, and there's a lot of competition out there for a lot of businesses, but understand that your business has a unique value proposition. So you're offering something that someone else isn't. So you're still qualified to create a platform around something that you're doing, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. I'm going to look out for your email. I'd love to follow up with you. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Does anyone else have another question before I continue and take the questions?
Yeah, let's take one more from Nikki.
Nike.
Oh, there you go.
Hi. Yes, my name is Nike. Hi, Ade. Everything's awesome. So I'm learning so much, but I had a question about, so if you're somebody who's trying to get their brand going and everything, and you've realized marketing is the it girl, what is one thing that you should prioritize as somebody who's trying to get out there, as far as like a new brand goes?
That's a good question. And this question is hard for me because I'm like, do everything all at once, right?
Right, right.
I do think that there is, to be honest with you, especially in today's marketing, and if you're not taking marketing seriously, start taking it seriously because it's getting crazier from here. And the reason why I say doing a mix of things all at once is important is because you want to make sure that you have impact. But if you're like a business and this is your day one of marketing, I think the most important thing is to get very, very clear with your message. I do see a lot of brands trying to be snazzy and cool, and that works. And actually, it doesn't work for the most part. It's very, very few brands whose copy is like very witty and like people still get it, right? Human beings, our attention span is really short. So if you're getting very, very clear with your message, I think that's a very good first step, is getting clear with your message and putting that message out and testing it for a while. Don't be a marketer for 1 month and then throw on the towel because you didn't get the results that you were looking for. I think, marketing definitely requires time and energy and effort. And I definitely think that's a good place to start, is really getting concise with your message. Once you get concise with your message, then you can start to build the brand elements outside of that message, right? The color, your website. Nike is an incredible designer. So if anybody's looking for design, content templates, or wants to learn how to design, Nike is your girl. Taught me a lot of things as well. And so Nike, you already know, like building that design features around that, because design is a big part of marketing as well, right? Like you want to create something that is like auditorily memorable for them, visually memorable, and then reading wise memorable as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. You're awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I'm going to continue on really, really quickly, and then we'll get into more questions as well. All right, the next thing on the list is to run ads, right? Remember, we talked about this is low cost, not no cost, and marketing is a pay-to-play environment, and it's very, very important that you have some type of budget. I don't care if you have $200, definitely take that money and throw that out there into running ads. I think the beauty of running ads on any platform is that online advertising, give me 1 second, just move something around on my screen. Online advertising lets you target your ad to the type of customers you want and allows you to filter out everyone else. So when you're posting content on a blog or you're posting content on Instagram, anybody can see it and you don't know who it's going to. Again, Instagram is very much like shooting in the dark, right? Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all these platforms are very much like shooting in the dark. But when you run ads, you're literally getting your content in front of the people that you want to and no one else. I've added a resource here that you can take home, and it gives you step-by-step instructions on how to run an ad. The key with running ads is that you basically need to be a master at segmenting audiences. So you'll learn more about that in the instructions. And I think the thing about marketing is that it's always changing. There's always something new that's happening. And so this morning, I just learned that Instagram has started putting ads in search results, right? So let's say a person is searching for something. If you go on Instagram and you're typing in something, maybe like, I don't know, a chocolate chip cookie. There's a lot of, for some reason in Boston, there's a lot of like dessert brands coming up, which is really cool because we don't really have a lot of cookie brands out here. And so I've seen a lot of cookie brands come up. So let's say you're a cookie brand and someone's looking it up. Your ad could potentially show up in that search, right? Because you've now paid Instagram, you've now paid Facebook, you've now paid LinkedIn or Twitter to basically show up in people's searches, almost like Google as well. And so Instagram just announced this morning that they're beginning to test that out so that, people who are actively searching for businesses, products, and content can find them through the people who are actually putting money towards them. So you have a better chance of being seen if you're throwing ads out there on different platforms. Of course, I could literally teach a class on each one of these slides, so I'm not going to go too hard on this, but definitely take this resource, read on it, and definitely you can literally go off and start your first ad today. The next thing is creating community. So back in 2021, I felt like, just like I told another person here, turning your product into a platform was like the theme of 2021, 2022. And 2023, in marketing, it's all about turning your followers into community. Why? Because community is the oldest form of marketing, right, on the planet. Because communities get back to the customer instead of asking the customer of something, right? We're always asking customers, you know, spend with me, do this with me. But communities are like, spend with me, and here's how I'm going to pour into you. Where are these resources? And it's like buying a product and getting extra support with that product, right? I am a little bit wary of marketers using community as a strategy, because if it's not in you, then your community is going to fail. You really have to be someone who is already community oriented for this strategy to work. So I'm seeing a lot of bigger brands and even smaller brands trying to create community when other brands have a community. Let's think about Ben and Jerry's, for example. I think a lot of brands are trying to emulate the community that they have, and it's just not working because the foundation of your business was never for the community. You were always about earning a profit. And so if you are a social enterprise or a business that's solving a big problem, whether you're a nonprofit, creating community around your product, honestly, is such a great thing, because it's a two-way conversation. Your customer gets something, you get something, and I feel like everyone feels happier. But again, because community has proven to work more than other strategies, people are now using it as a strategy, but it's not really a strategy. You really have to be a community-oriented person. Next thing is influencers and content creators. Now, I would say everybody wants to use their favorite. Think of your favorite influencer. Everybody wants to work with their favorite influencer. And I bet your favorite influencer has 1 million followers on TikTok or something of that nature. And I really want to encourage you that as a part of your strategy to use micro influencers. Number one, because they're a bit cheaper than working with bigger influencers, because all of a sudden everybody learned their worth, and so people are charging egregious amounts. But there are still influencers out there. We call them micro influencers. There might be someone in your community that has 2,000 followers, 3,000 followers, even up to 5,000 followers. And so it's very, very important that you're tapping the shoulders of those people, because at the end of the day, it's more likely, especially if you're a local business, that it's very likely that people who follow them could potentially be your customers and buy from you sooner rather than later. What I also love about working with micro influencers, I've been working with micro influencers for about 2-3 years now. And what I love about working with them is that their content is evergreen, right? So let's say, you know, you work with someone that has 5,000 followers today, and you give them $50 for a post, and it does it does pretty good. But then they end up in the next few months having 100,000 followers. That post that you made with them is still there. I mean, unless they deleted it. So if you do work with influencers, make sure that contract is tight. But I always make sure to sign with content creators and influencers that content that they do with my clients stays on their page for up to a year, because if they grow, then the potential of your business and your content being seen also increases with their success as well. And so don't always go for the big fish, because those who are just starting out, they're probably going to be much bigger in a year. Therefore, you now just basically invested in content that, yeah, today might not do well, but tomorrow it will. And so I'm actually experiencing a lot of that this week with clients, where influencers that we work with in the past who are very, very small, who are now very big, and have a lot of brand partnerships and things of that nature, we're now starting to see a lot of our content kind of being clicked on and watched. And so it didn't feel good at the time to like put something out and nobody watched it. But today, they're doing really, really well. And so never, ever only just go for the big fish. Also, definitely contact your clients. If your client shares something of you, reshare it, show your appreciation for them, because user-generated content is really, really big today. In fact, people are getting paid as customers and content creators to just post about stuff that they buy, right? So we're seeing a lot of that. And again, there's also cons to a lot of this. Can't get into that, but happy to talk this over with anyone. You can also follow me and use Small Business Strong as a resource to help you with this. All right, the next thing, aside from actually winning a grant, I think it's so beneficial, and I think it's a really good beneficial strategy to apply to grants, because if you are a business that's truly a social enterprise, or a business that was created for the greater good, oftentimes people who read and judge grants are decision makers, right? And so you've now exposed your business. Let's say you don't win the grant, you've still now exposed your business to people who are decision makers. And so I do work with small businesses, very select clients on grant writing, and we apply to about 10 grants a week. And sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't. And even though the ones they don't get, we always, for some reason, have someone reach out from the committee and say, listen, you didn't win this time, but we really, really love this business. You want to do content with this business. We want to talk to this business. And so applying to grants as a marketer is something that I've incredibly seen a lot of just a great feedback loop on. And so definitely apply to grants. Again, if you get them, obviously that's awesome. But if you don't, just know that you've exposed your business to people that had no idea that you existed before. Also, if you don't get the grant, apply again. Getting down to the wire really quickly, I'm going to go through this. Approximately 1 in 4 people in the United States are considered disabled or living with some form of disability. Therefore, accessibility must be in every element of your business and your marketing strategy. By not being accessible, you really literally are running the risk of alienating 25% of the US population, right? So for marketers, our primary concern, for example, is audio-visual challenges and conditions like dyslexia and other visual impairments. And so even as brand marketers, Nike will tell you, we're always thinking about colors, which colors go with what, which colors are accessible and actually legal by the ADA. So there's some colors that actually some colors that we're not technically supposed to put together because those who are colorblind can't see them, right? So definitely scan this resource right here. It's a website accessibility widget. It's actually going to become the law in a few years that every website have some type of widget where if someone needed to make your content bigger so they can see it, or make their content smaller, they can like actually have an AI read out the content for those who are visually impaired. Every single person's content is going to have this at some point, but you shouldn't just do this just because you want to make more money and access the disabled community. You should do this because it's just the right thing to do, right? And so I have a couple of clients. I have a client that's blind, and I've learned so much from this client. So I definitely want to thank them for bringing this to my attention. And so now across all of my work, accessibility is key. It's not just about making money. It's about making sure that people have the things that they need to consume the content, because everybody's online, no matter what stereotypes you make about disabilities. And lastly, really quick, events and activations. And so I was featured in Forbes talking about experiential marketing because I think it's a really, really great strategy. If you own a brick and mortar business, or if you have a friend that owns a brick and mortar business, or if you know of one that you can do an event at, definitely get in front of actual people. I think in a post-pandemic world, a lot of people have been like craving to get back outside. And at the end of the day, there's nothing like the human touch, like nothing beats the human touch. So if you have a product, or even if you have a service, if there's a way for you to actually talk to people in person, like I wish this event was in person. If there was a way for you to be able to do that, you absolutely should, because event and activations are definitely helping people increase their sales as well. Okay, so definitely do that. And again, if you have a brick and mortar business, do some experiential things in your business about your product. Like just because you own the business doesn't mean that's it. Like if you have a body butter, make sure there are samples out. If you have food, give people samples, or feature a chef from your community that week. Like there are so many opportunities that are out there if you actually have a physical space for your business. And those who don't, align yourself with some business owners. Also make sure you sign up for Small Business Strong so they can help you access some of these resources as well. Okay. Sorry, I had to go through this fast, but I am so happy to be able to take your questions finally.